Everyone. This might be one of my favorite stories of the year, and I think it's hilarious. One, because what was said, and two, the entire NBA and all his players basically teaming up like the Avengers to just go at him. But Noah Lyles, he is a track and field star representing Team USA. He said, the thing that hurts me the most is that I have to watch the NBA Finals and they have world champion on their head. World champion of what? The United States. And I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, face palm just like I did when I saw this and was like, dude, go, like, you really said this. Like, how genuine is this comment for one, or how much of this is just like controversial, like, let me get some headlines, right? Because, hey, look, that's a real thing, especially in today's age, right? Like, you think no, like I didn't even know who Noah was until this incident. And I'm sure a good majority of people didn't know who this guy was until this incident, right? And the scale in which people are invested into Team USA basketball compared to like track and field and stuff like that, again, not saying that it doesn't have a fan base, not saying that it doesn't have a following, not saying that there aren't a lot of people that are passionate about it. But to the sense of like basketball, the NBA, NBA players, Team USA, it's a different level, right? There's different levels to this, right? It's just how it is. And so it does have me questioning like how much of this was like a genuine just like brain fart moment, or how much of it was like this is something that like I just want some attention seeking. No, maybe aware, unaware, regardless. I just think it's funny, right? Because it's just like, dude, like the fact that the fact if this was just some random guy, no problems, right? No, and no one would care if it's just some random guy. But this is a professional athlete representing Team USA at the Olympics. So one, why would you say something silly like that when you're talking about, Team USA and basketball, what's going on right now? Like, so it's a silly thing, period, to say in the time. Like, there's a time and place for everything, right? Secondly, like, you're a professional athlete and you're talking about, you say, I have to watch the NBA Finals. You say in your statement that you actually actively watch the NBA Finals or watch, the NBA, like, and to make this type of statement, it just has me scratching my head. Like, are you that ignorant, or are you clout chasing? Right? Because again, he's getting all this attention now. He has, like I said, the entire league is just coming for him, like the Avengers teaming up to take on Thanos. Like it's hilarious. Right? I mean, seriously, like everybody who's everybody in the entire NBA are all just like face palming, coming after this guy. Right? I mean, even Kevin Durant, he didn't even use his burner account. He said it straight on his regular account. Right? Tyler Hero's going at him, like everybody. It's so funny to see this. Right? It's just like, again, the top, like, even if you're not a basketball fan and you just have some familiarity with the basketball, right? Like, and at least know of the NBA and at least know of like the profile players, there's no way you'd make a statement like that, right? And he says in his comment that he watches basketball. Like 4 of the top 5 players in the league are all foreign players. Giannis, the guy who just won the NBA championship, Jokic, right? Embiid, who just won MVP, right? Luka, like all of these guys, the list goes on and on. Almost every team at this point in the league have a star that is from somewhere else, right? Like it's hilarious. It's hilarious, right? Like you look at like, even you look at Team USA and it's like, they don't have any of like the big name stars, right? Because they're all from other countries, right? Like, and yes, I mean, could the Lakers, put on like a Damian Lillard, like a James Harden, a Kevin Durant, a LeBron James, and AD? Like, yes, there are some big name players, of course, that are US that would represent Team USA. But like, again, like you look at the top like 25 players in the league, and like half of them, if not more, are probably from other countries. I mean, even Paolo Banchero, who's on Team USA, there was, questions of like, why is he playing for Team USA? Right? You look at the Olympics right now. You look at the World Cup right now. Like, every team has NBA players now. Every team star is in the NBA now. It's a world game. It's literally a global game, right? Like, it's the best players from all over the world, right? Like, if you, and even then, if you take the best team, which was what, Spain, right? Take the best team, or they were ranked 1 going into FIBA, right? Right? So take Spain and have them play Detroit, right? And let them play a best of 7 series. And let's see how many games that they actually win. Like, seriously, let's see how many games they actually win, right? Let have them play the Pistons, right? Put the Detroit Pistons had the worst record in the league last year, right? They were what, 17-65, something like that, and have them play against these other countries' best players. Again, not saying the guys that are in the NBA. I'm talking about, right, like, because Detroit doesn't have any stars on it. Like, they don't have any like top 5 players, top 10 players, or anything like that, right? Like, have them play just the national teams that go and show up without, and see how many times they beat. Again, it's the best players from the world. If they're not in the league, then it's because they're probably not good enough. Right? Like, very few times do you see a guy that's just like a diamond in the rough. Like, usually the guys that are like prodigies usually end up getting a league. Like, think of, like, again, Luka, Ricky Rubio, right? Like, Ricky Rubio was like torching all of Europe at like 11, right? And playing on the professional team, and like was playing in the Olympics and stuff like that. And he came to the league, right? Like, that's what this is. It's a global game. It's literally a world championship because it's the best players from the world. Just like baseball. Baseball is the World Series because it's literally the best players from around the world. And you look at something like, the NFL. What is it? It's the Super Bowl, right? Like, it's just a completely different thing. It's just, I don't know. Again, it's so comedic. It's so funny that is something that was actually said. Right? And again, time and place, man. Like, if you're going to say something silly, don't say it when you're representing Team USA and Team USA is playing basketball. Right? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's funny. But it's even funnier that, like, it wasn't like, KD just chimed in and just was like, what? Like, literally, like, every NBA player have all been like, what is this guy talking about? Like, it's just, that's what makes it funnier, at least for me. It's just, I think it's hilarious that, like, everybody just piled on this guy. And again, maybe it is ignorance, right? Maybe it is just like a brain fart or something. But it's just the way he said it, the way he phrased it. He even says in the statement that he made, right, like, that he watches the NBA fight. Like, if he was just like, yeah, like, I'm not very familiar with basketball, right? Like, I've never really watched basketball or anything like that, but I've always thought it was weird that, they call it, the World Championship, and, what is it, the World Team USA, like, or is it just the United States or whatever? If he would have said something like that, give the guy a pass, like, he doesn't know, they're like, even though all of us and everyone watching this video is a sports fan and basketball fan and stuff like that, there are people that aren't, right? Like, like my girl, outside of like LeBron and stuff like that, like, she can't tell you much, right? Like, I mean, she knows like what I've taught her, what I've explained to her, and what I've taught her and things like that. But like, even before we met, she she became a basketball fan because of my obsession, right? So there are plenty of people. Like I have friends that like, outside of LeBron can't name you anybody, right? Like it's just so it's not something that is like, oh my God, you don't know who any basketball is. Like, no, like there are plenty of people that don't. But it's the fact that he said he does. It's the fact that he acknowledged it. It's the fact, like it's just like, come on, dude. Like what? Like what are we doing here? What are we doing here? But anyway, again, like it's no hate. It's nothing like that. Like I'm not trying to like, you know, pile on the guy. I just thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious, and I loved how it just kind of became this like NBA thing and this NBA topic and stuff. I don't know. It's just something that I wanted to touch on and talk about briefly. It's not like or at least at the time of recording this video, it's not like there's a ton of NBA news and stuff going around. I just thought this was funny. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What did you think about this? Did you get a laugh out of it? However you feel, love to hear it. Let me know.